So how in the world did the Eagles not be able to run the ball? What happened? How did the Chiefs stop the Eagles' vaunted rushing attack? We talked about this as the biggest mismatch heading into the Super Bowl, and the Eagles, they couldn't get over 3 yards per carry when handing the ball off. So what happened? Well, it's a lot of stuff like this. So you see the blocking concept here for Philadelphia. Everyone is accounted for, right? But there's one guy I want you to take a look at. I believe this is Willie Gay. I can't see the exact number, but I believe it's 50. I believe that's Willie Gay here. And the thing is this what the Chiefs linebackers did a very good job of, whether it was Willie Gay, whether it was Nick Bolton, and even Leo Chanel made some plays, and we'll talk about all of them in this video. But you're going to see that I thought this was kind of their linebackers were what made the difference, because the way he's supposed to get blocked is, you see it's a double team, right? Where the center and right guard start off blocking an interior defensive lineman, then get off that block to get over to block Gay here on this play. But watch what Gay's going to do. Look at how right when this play begins, he just shoots that gap essentially. So when Kelsey is able to finally pick him up, you already have Willie Gay in the backfield at this point, and this is a tough situation for the Eagles. And that's kind of what the Chiefs' mindset was they shot those gaps so quickly and so consistently. That's how they were able to get some tackles for losses. Willie Gay does end up making that play, and again, you got to give credit to the defensive linemen for making it a little bit tougher for guys to finish off their double teams and get up to block linebackers. But that was a big reason why the Chiefs were able to do such a good job. Like, this play is going to be another example where this time Leo Chanel, the rookie player who made some plays in this one, he had an underrated game, I thought. He definitely came through. So you see the blocking concept, and who's the closest unblocked man? It's going to be Leo Chanel right there. He is the closest unblocked player. It's going to be a run to the offense's right, and just watch what happens. Again, watch how he tracks this so well. He shoots the gap so well. He's able to, really help make that play, and I mean, he did make that play. And so because of, again, I think the defensive line doing a pretty good job at just not giving the clear, wide open running lanes to go through, and then the linebackers playing so aggressive on this. There were a couple times where the Eagles burned them on play actions, but not too often. They didn't run that many play actions, which is, again, it was part of the strategy of the Chiefs where their linebackers sold out to stop the run, and it worked. But again, stuff like this too, where it's defensive linemen, it's not just the linebackers who made plays. I think they were the headliners for sure, I would say that, but it wasn't just them. It was also defensive linemen. And what's going to happen here is you see how you have a couple of defensive linemen who are going to get double teamed. You just kind of follow that direction. 2nd down and 1, you're just trying to pick up the 1st down. Watch how you're going to see that Jalen Hurts does hand the ball off. This is going to be to Kenneth Gainwell on this play, but there's not really a great place to run. He could just put his head down and run straight forward, which, he realistically probably should do, but you're not gaining too much, probably just a yard, which, hey, that would get you to 1st, but still, you want more than that. Goes towards the other side, but there are unblocked players there, and again, like Leo Chanel on that play is the one who ends up making the tackle. It's once again linebackers coming through. So it's just the running lanes that the Eagles were expecting just weren't there, and when there were running lanes, guys were playing aggressive enough to clog them up. Like this one's another one. It's again going to be Willie Gay. You see the blocking concept. So it's supposed to be a run to the offense's right. That's the way that this play is supposed to work. So, okay, who's the guy to watch here? It's again Willie Gay. And, these things are interesting, right? Because you do have enough guys to block everybody, right? You have enough guys. And maybe you would say, hey, these linebackers, with how quick they're moving, maybe let's just stop with this double team. Let's just have guys just straight up go out and block. But then what are you going to do? You're going to leave Chris Jones one-on-one and try to run right next to him? You're going to lose if you do that. That's just not a decision you can make. You have to double team him at the line and then get off to block in this case, Willie Gay. That's what you just have to do, but it's just difficult, right? Look at how when this play begins, you're going to see that. Again, look at how there was a running lane, but Willie Gay just completely clogged it up, and now where do you go? Like, that's where, the running back on this play was supposed to run with the football, and people are kind of blaming the running backs, but there's only so much you can do. This is the reason why, people say running backs are overrated. It's because, what happens, that matters typically tends to be the line play. And that's what's happening here is the front 7 versus the offensive line. And a lot of people felt this was a massive mismatch for the Eagles, and I did too, but it did not work out that way. That's why you play the games. As you see, once again, not too much going there. And again, this is something where it didn't just hurt them in terms of not being able to pick up more yards. It hurt them in terms of down the stretch, they started, sort of running the ball a lot less, and they were throwing the ball a lot more. That's kind of how they decided they were going to try and win this one. But it was tough because typically they like to, after getting the lead in the first half, which they once again did, had a 10-point lead. Typically what the Eagles had done all season is just run out the clock. They weren't able to, or at least didn't feel like they could in this game, which is part of how, while the Chiefs still didn't get a ton of possessions, they were able to, have enough to win the game. Also, this play, another key one I broke down when I talked about Nick Bolton and why you could argue he deserved Super Bowl MVP. A very interesting play, but I'm now taking it from the entire Chiefs perspective because Leo Chenal, once again, going to make a key play here. You see Devonta Smith is going to be blocking him, which feels like a mismatch, wide receiver blocking a linebacker, but keep in mind, you're not expecting to get blocked from that angle, right? It's kind of the surprise that typically gets you, so that's why these plays can actually work. Watch as, Smith gets in the way of Chenal, but that's pretty much all he does. Chenal is definitely, pushing Smith back, which means that an offensive lineman for Philadelphia is then going to have to help out, meaning that the closest unblocked player is right there. Nick Bolton is now going to be unblocked, but I had someone accounted for him. Now they don't. This is, players can make plays, but that's all you did. That's all Chenal did, was basically set up a scenario where Bolton can make a play, but Bolton still has to go over and make that play. However, that's going to be exactly what he does. He's able to run over. He's able to get the stop. Listen, the Chiefs said, we have these superstar athlete linebackers. We're going to use them to our benefit. We're going to try and tell them, and it's not necessarily X's and O's as it is just kind of a mindset of go over and try to stop the run as much as possible. That's what we want from you. That's what we think you can do, and it could have backfired in a massive way. You could argue the Eagles were able to pass the ball a little bit easier because the Chiefs had this mindset. But what the Chiefs had to do, if that was going to be their game plan, is they then had to do at least a somewhat effective job at stopping the run, and they weren't somewhat effective. They were incredibly effective in this game. They did, as maybe the best job out of anybody all season in stopping this Eagles rushing attack. And if they didn't, I don't think they win this football game. I think that was definitely a key factor in them pulling off this victory. But that's what I think. What do you guys think? What were your thoughts on the Chiefs stopping the Eagles run in this one? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.